I'm from a place that's completely different than this. It's flat and boring. All the buildings are new because our state's barely 100 years old. Well, the Spaniards came through here in Washington and just like they took over a lot of the tribes out here. Um, they their conquests were of epic proportions, though.
The thing that kind of sticks is you think about the genocide that happened.
Oh yeah, uh, IBH is a mass genocide of my people. I mean, not IBH, IHS, Indian Health Services, is a huge genocide of the Native American people. They make it so hard to get, like, even dental assistance. Although we get it for free, it takes months for me to even get on the waiting list. Like, I got a cavity, and they told me it's gonna be another 3 months before I'm even on the waiting list. They put me back another month. It's the Bureau of Indian Affairs. It's the United States government ties into all these sovereign nations. We're supposedly sovereign, but like we still have to follow a bunch of laws, and specifically the laws set behind in treaties with the United States government that sometimes gives us less rights. Like we have to ask the government to control our own money. Yeah. My grandfather was part of the American Indian movement. AIM. Yeah, he was 1971 Lincoln chapter president, like, of the American Indian movement.
Where is he now?
He's dead. Um, John Tubert's Arbuckle. He's on Google. He got arrested on federal charges for greasing railroad tracks and conspiring to commit acts of homeland terrorism. He had like grease and rags, and they were in glass jars, and they said he was planning to make Molotov cocktails, but he was out there greasing railroad tracks. He pled guilty to that and did like 11 years. Um, he was a really cool guy though. He was huge on the American Advocate rights. Like I was part of the Olympia train blockade last Thanksgiving. Um, it was a 14-day long train blockade, second longest in U.S. history, and we were blocking the fracking supplies to North Dakota. Oh man, well, it's hard to really describe. Like it goes from rolling plains to mountains to deep valleys. It's got rifts that are the size of God's fingernails and stuff. It's a gorgeous land. They strip mined the Black Hills out there for all of its gold way back in like during Prohibition and stuff. And but those were like sacred burial lands. Like I have ancestral burial grounds that are like old mine shafts now.
You were inspired to come here.
Yeah, just safer, crime, low crime, and because in Tulsa and the Midwest is getting real bad.
In what way? What do you experience?
A lot of racial tension and reverse racism, I guess maybe.
In what way?
Well, just maybe just I don't know, be intimidated by the mentality that's still being taught amongst the youth. The older folks aren't teaching them, to be kind and stuff. They're just still, like stuck on hate, a lot of hate and stuff, and they got a lot of oppression. They feel like entitled to a lot of things and stuff in Oklahoma, because there was a big racial. In 1930 something, there was a racial riot. It was kind of covered up. There's mass graves, and they're uncovering the mass graves and stuff like that. And they really haven't brought the oppressed side of town up to date. They call it a food desert in part of Tulsa, which Tulsa's a city of 1 million people. There's no reason that in that side that they should be shopping at Dollar General and Family Dollar for their groceries, and like they have a Save-A-Lot. And if you go shopping there, all the groceries are gone off the shelves, and they can't seem to keep a grocery store in that part of town. It's not even the crime's not even that bad.
Was that an area that experienced segregation?
Yeah. It was a very segregated area.
From like the 60s?
Yep.
So are you talking mostly like African American and...
Yeah, And I mean, in the, you know,
If you
I've
remember,
never
the
been
Nazis created the ghetto. They really
Right.
did. The Nazis created the ghetto for the Polish people. And
Yeah.
I feel like after World War II extended to America, that the
But
Allies
what
actually
my problem is
created these
the,
neighborhoods where they know that the poor would have
the African
problems.
Americans and stuff like that, and just poor people in general that have been given opportunities or brought because they segregated them, and then they brought them over to like other communities and built projects in the nice part of town and everything like that. Those generations they're still teaching like hate the white people and stuff. When it shouldn't be like that. So their kids see their parents that have that mentality, and then so the kids are easily they're just on their way like going right to prison, pretty much.
Somebody, maybe you could say something about this. Somebody the other day said they moved out of Tulsa because of the amount of racism that was going on there. Is there anything that, like, what's the story behind that?
Yeah, that place is bad. People just shoot at each other for shooting at each other.
Like, what's the general, like, living circumstance? Like, what's the grade?
Open racism. I was looked at as an outcast because I always kicked it with like black people and Mexicans and stuff. Like when I was on the streets, but like I look white, and people were really judgmental. But there's a lot of natives out there, and we kind of did whatever we wanted, Like we didn't really have any gang affiliation on the streets until like some stuff happened in prisons and stuff started breaking out on the streets. Well, it was like some of these gangs were on the streets and in prisons, but a bunch of these gangs were just like old school prison gangs, like brotherhoods. I can't really talk about those because there's no statute on shit like that.
I mean, I first came to this town, it was 10 years ago, and I was at the age of 14 years old, and I was pulling crabs off the boat. And I was taking a lot of crabs off the boat. My name was Nigger Mark back then. Chehalis, Australia, Rainier, Washington, all the way up. That was my name. I was the only black guy doing it. I was the only black guy living in these little dinky towns. I was the only black guy walking this town. I'm the only black guy doing anything. What can you do?
What can you do?
You can't fight them all. You can't fight all the white folks. So you just gotta join in. You gotta smile with it.
Just roll with it.
You gotta roll and smile with it. Put it behind your head and let God take care of it. It's just the smile. But do you see Tom going up in there telling them that they got all leave? They telling me there's no sleeping in Astoria, but you got people sleeping on the sidewalks in front of the stores and sleeping up there in the woods. But here I got to leave. I got to go across the bridge where the car's getting ready to break down. I got off. I work for Teams, and I just got off of work right up here at Tom Point. Just got off of work at 4 o'clock in the morning. As soon as I get ready to close my eye, no offense to nothing against me, God. I will bless me later. There's a white guy sitting on the porch, sleeping. I'm parked 2 feet in front of him. He gets out and sees him, don't say nothing. So the 2 officers walks up. One's got his hand on his gun, the other's got a hand on the gun. I got no knife and no nothing. Okay, well, why you got your hand on your gun for? And I'm sleeping. I got a plastic bag over my window. I opened my door and I said, "What's going on, officer?" "Well, I've been going up and down this road for the last 2 months." "No, you haven't." "I've been kicking people out of here every day." "No, you haven't." "I've been sleeping here for the last 2 months because I could take you to the gas station and they'll tell you the same thing. So I don't understand what you're saying. Well, you gotta leave. There's no sleeping here. You go find your place. I don't care where you go. You need to go on the other side of Washington. I live here."
What are they asking for?
Color of the skin,
Color
man.
of the skin.
Yeah, well, these guys can sleep downtown Seattle. I mean, they can sleep all downtown, on the streets, everywhere.
Our inability to be ourselves is one of the biggest issues. Is like people like us, we're semi-feral, and this is just part of how we are. I think the best thing for this community is to open up a center that is non-denominational. They don't care about religion, just like the Constitution. You know, it should be completely free for you to come in, and as long as you compose yourself in an appropriate way, you are welcome there. You don't need to program, you don't need to pray, you don't need to, you know, sign your life away, have a 7-day lockout, none of that stuff. It's just a safe place for anyone to come in, as long as they act appropriately, to be safe and to have resources like showers and internet and, you know, food, you know, things like that. And that could be for anyone. That could be for your kids. That could, you know, a teenager wants to, you know, boom, you get free lunch. You know what I mean? Like, it needs to be a safe working environment that's not controlled by any form of religion, and definitely not at a police station.
I can't even stand on a public sidewalk and talk to 2 or 3 of my friends
McDonald's
without the
them
police
calling
rolling
cops
up
on us, dude.
talking to me
and saying I'm doing something fucked up. And I'm not. I could be
Christina,
totally sober,
4
not
years,
smoking
got
no
kicked out
weed,
because she got
not
sent
nothing. Just like right now, if I was like you, standing on this corner, that's what we were doing. 3 or 4 of us talking. The
Yeah,
cops
just
roll up
chilling.
on it. And the cops are like, we know it's bogus. Well, then why, if you know it's bogus,
Well,
why
he
are
got
you
in on the
fucking with
banana
me?
phone. I wish I would have taken
Leave
pictures
me
of that. That shit
alone.
was funny as fuck. You can buy a panhandler's permit for $15. It's good for a year. Might be a little more now because of minimum wage and all that shit. But last time I was there, it was $15. It's good for a whole year. And you can sit on any corner and panhandle all day long.
All
You-
this
you know,
shit
and that's a
means
form of being.
is
Right,
the
let me-
cops
And it isn't
can
even
stop.
specific. This is so roundabout. It's like it's not even. But they should do something like that. Like, I mean, obviously, you probably shouldn't charge people to do that. But you know,
Quit running us away from places when we're asleep at night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All this shit means
It's-
right
it's
here
so
is the
not- it's
police
like,
can
it doesn't
roll up
even
here
make
and tell
sense,
us
like,
to
half
run
that,
off
it
at
doesn't-
any
like,
point in time.
do what they want.
That means, yeah, the owners don't have to complain, the citizens don't have to complain. That just means if the cops see us sitting here and
They
that
just run us
sign's
off.
there, they can stop and tell us to leave.
we need safe
Can we
places
meet in the
to
middle?
sleep.
Can we compromise?
Right.
What do you want? What do I want? Let's sit and talk and see if we can work both of these things out
Yeah.
to benefit each other
So
at
again,
the same
how
time.
do we go about being like,
I mean,
hey,
if
I'll
we're
sleep
sitting
in your
here-
stoop and I'll make sure it's clean when I leave. But the problem is we get people who travel all over the country who have really bad habits and disrespectful, and so it makes all of us who actually
It's not just the
live
travelers.
here, you know,
So what happens when you try to police the travelers?
You can't please the travelers.
can't, can't. That's not how it works.
Because they're
You can-
travelers.
Yeah.
And they get upset.
They're just here they're here for whatever, for reason, for whatever,
And then
for
they're gone.
whatever.
What are the first things we need to start doing?
Support. We have to have support. We need a place to bathe. We need a place to
You're
do
treating us
laundry.
different because we're
Yeah.
not
We
your
need a place
status
to
quo.
sleep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Don't judge
And we
us.
don't have to sleep inside. We can sleep in, like, I don't mind
I
sleeping
prefer
outside.
outside.
Yeah.
You know, that's okay.
But don't judge us.
You know, like,
Yeah, we're homeless. You know how many people will walk by here and you just say hi and they
then
flat
we
ignore
just
you?
watch the girl literally walk almost into traffic just to avoid saying hi to us. It's a form of ignorant contempt that it's hard to breach that barrier because it's such a polar opposite.
It's so automatic.
It's the polar opposite.
It's so instilled into people's brains already that you would have to.
Well,
You would have to over and over. It's somebody speaking for us. Somebody over and over telling something.
I think
and
you're
breaking
hitting.
the cycle.
Give us an opportunity to be a person.
The media's main thing is to promote division. That's what the media does. So if they can say something that'll make everybody else in the community feel like, okay, well, nah, they're scum. We don't need to let them feel like they're accepted here. Let's not do that. You know what I mean? Like that's.
They only do what they have to do, what they think they have to do.
When you actually talk to someone, that's solid information. That's solid.
So,
communication.
Right. Social media and regular media
It's
has
bullshit.
screwed this whole fucking society.
It's like,
the
why
social,
can't you just go and
Yeah,
talk to
they
the person in
screw it
person
all
and be
up.
like, hey, I'm personable, I got interpersonal communication skills, I know how to talk to a motherfucker, you know what I mean? Like,
come talk to us. Don't listen to what the newspaper and the media tells you.
See what I mean?
Get your facts where it's at. Come
And-
straight to us
Like, look at
and
those.
sit down and say, "What's going on, brother? What's up?" You know what I mean?
simple communication.
Right.
We need support.
So
Plain and simple, we need support that's not regulated by
But-
Christianity or hardcore politics.
Or
We
They
need-
want to
we-
control us.
We
They
don't
want to
wanna be
control
controlled.
the homeless. That's
But-
why they're trying to put
Brad,
us
the
in
first
this
thing I
jail.
would say to you
What?
Be specific.
Why do they want to put us in the jail? That's not the only building they can get. Why do we have to go through cavity
Why, so they can
searches?
search our shit and fucking throw us in jail?
It's
and
supposed to be
that's a
free,
shakedown,
open.
dude. That's a setup. That's a fucking
No.
shakedown,
So, like-
dude.
I don't want them to do it there.
No.
Not because of my reasons, but if they do it there, it's going to fail.
It's a waste
Because
of money.
any
It's a waste of
homeless
time.
person is
The
not
people
gonna
who are
go
strung out on dope and
to a
God only
jail.
knows what they've been through, all they want to do is go to somewhere safe where they're not going to be interrogated, they're not going to be harassed, no one's going to go through their shit. Everyone has trust issues, they all have PTSD. We need a safe place where we can feel like we can be ourselves, no one's going to touch our shit. And it's all about sharing with the community and being able to help one another succeed. So I don't want to see anyone go down.
My message is help. Give these people help, because they need them. They need that help. They need a lot of help. You don't have to build homes in the cities. You can build homes. There's woods back there. There's other places back there. There's a football field back there next to a garbage yard out in the middle of nowhere. So why can you not build homes back there? I can start right here. Starting right here in Astoria, building homes. I'll go out and try to ask to see if I can get wood. See what I can do to see if I can get somebody to volunteer their help. That's what they need, is volunteer. People can't come out and volunteer just to build a size of a hotel, like the inside of a hotel. It's got a bed, it's got a TV little room, it's got a little table here, and it's got a bathroom where you can hang your clothes and stuff at. They can't build something like that. And if you got family, then you can have like 2 or 3 rooms. You don't need a house. You just need a flat roof and some 4-door rooms. Look at Tacoma. Tacoma's got a law. You can't live on the streets. If you don't live in my facilities for the homeless people, you cannot live on the streets. You gotta move on. Why they cannot do that here? Build something for them. There's a building there. There's a white building right there. There's nobody living in it. I can show you another building over here by our church up here. There's nobody living in it. Nobody. There's been nobody. Some of these abandoned buildings down here, why can these people put their mind to it and put that to a use?
I personally think that they should do some kind of, there's lots of unoccupied buildings. They should either do eminent domain or insist that, that certain businesses open themselves to the public just for being overnight, just for being here. It's optional now. There's one church right now, the Methodist Church usually handles it, and they don't do a very good job of it. But they handle December, January, and February. There's a motley crew that shows up, and it's not very well organized. I don't know how many do they take in a winter night? Probably 20 something, I would imagine, maybe 30. The church. So there's one church. There's one Bible study on Bond Street. They probably have room for another 10. So on any given night in the winter, they can probably take in somewhere between 40 and 50. I don't know how many. There's probably 2 to 3 times that wandering around town here. And the homeless population exceeds the quote designated shelters at least 2 to 3 times. Yeah. So if they have room for 40, there's 80 to 120 out here, depending upon what time of year it is. I think it should be mandatory that any person who can walk and talk and do something civil for society ought to be guaranteed, and in return, they can do more than the usual what campgrounds or yoga ashrams do. You say, well, I will take you in, and why don't you contribute 2 hours a day to our gardening effort or our kitchen KP effort? And that's okay. And there might be some other work besides that. Say, if you're willing to donate 2 hours of your time to quote communal services, two and a half, not much more than that, you should be guaranteed a place where you can take a shower, park yourself overnight, you know?
So are you concerned about camping bans at all?
No, because I know all the cops.
I mean, is it going to affect you anyway? Or?
I don't care. I don't care. Now, if, to be honest with you, if Astoria can actually get it together, when I say get it together, Springfield just figured it out. They're building pods. When I say pods, they're like taking people's travel trailers that they're donating to the churches, and they're putting families in them on these church properties with electricity. Or if they can't put a trailer there, they'll put a pod, and it's a little bitty hut that you get 2 electrical outlets, and you got to supply your own stuff, but you don't get wet in the winter. We've been to Brookings, they had helping hands, they wouldn't help us either. We've been to Florence, they got helping hands. We went in there for a hotel voucher, and they basically told us they wouldn't help us because we had a roof over our head because we lived in our car. You're only homeless if you live under the stars. If you live under the tarp, you have a structure. So you're no longer homeless. I'm being honest with you. We've gone through this. I've gone through this concept and argued with these people over and over and over and over.
We're homeless now. We have nothing. We live underneath the travel trailer.
Go with the pods, the homeless pods, because it gives someone some structure instead of having to worry about where they're going to camp, or if they're going to get a legal camping ticket, or take some of these woods out here that we have. We own all these woods out here. I was going to do it in Marcola. What I wanted to do was, we had a friend, before he passed away, we were going to ask him for like 10 acres of land. And I was going to go put big dog kennels out there, cages, and let people put their tent there so they can lock their stuff up in the kennel, right? Well, he ended up passing away. That never happened, but the morality behind it was to give them a trade in the process of them getting free rent. So you take a crew out, and you go cut wood for a local, split some wood for a local. Okay, whatever few dollars you make, you take that and you take it back, and you give it out in between paying for your rent and whatnot. You go work for free. You go clean weeds or clean leaves up for the winter. Well, the problem with it is you have to find somewhere, some land, someone that's got land that's willing to give us some land for people to go out there and cut the trees down. They get the wood, just cut the trees down, an acre of land. Cut all the trees down for the owner. Let a bunch of people live out there. Put a dumpster out there, like 5 porta potties.
It's got to be private.
Well, yeah. It has to be someone's personal land. So, to be out here, you know, like I say, you got to be strong-willed and very loving in your heart to actually make it to live out here. Because it's hard out here. It really is. It takes a toll. Like, I'm almost fully gray. It takes a toll on people. But I mean, if they gave jobs to every homeless person, we wouldn't have this problem.